Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of us. Yeah, we are now live. So we will be sending the link to the WhatsApp pages and also the Facebook groups so that we can all join. So link, the YouTube link is on the WhatsApp page. Okay, so we want to wait for some people to also join. Want to wait for other colleagues to join so that we can start. So we have about 7 people live now. We want to let the number go high small, then we can start. So we have about 9 people. So please, if you are live now, kindly share so that other colleagues can also watch. But waba online, waba live ni so we dey at the said I'm day 289 him say share link, all right. Share the link, share the link, share the link, share the link. Share link no na nipa bebree ntimi join na share the media na se. Na your friend Kwame Abuaje da Costa. Nkasa free Mpuntu Farms. And then you share top 10 mistakes. Top 10 mistakes new poultry farmers make. Send de bia no. Every Sunday, the live way eba. Discussion on poultry farming. For the past, let's say, the past 6 months or so, we've been offering training. Emma farmers are, especially new farmers, are here nimdeɛ sɛ ɔmo de bɛhyɛ ɔmo dwumadie no mu. And I think so far so good. We've been getting good feedback, and sometimes feedback no ɛma yɛ ahoɔden ne awerɛhyɛmu ɛma de biara yɛtumi de yɛ more. So that's why we always come your way on Sundays. Ɛna mɛfa saa akwanya wei so abɔ Edem, Farmer Edem aba so. And say last week Farmer Edem sendee me 50 Ghana cedis say me fanto data. Ewo dwumadi a yɛyɛ no say every Sunday yɛde live way edeba. And I least expected that. In fact, it was a shock, but I things say one feedback ama me who say enema yeah every Sunday, you know, at least people are really getting the benefits out of it. So today, doctor will not be joining me. I'll be doing this alone. I'll be doing this alone. Now, nyame aduma next week, yebetwa diseases and so. But today we are looking at top 10 mistakes that new poultry farmers make. So if you are here and you are a new farmer, this particular lesson, and I say topic, so kindly join. It won't take much time. A very simple Niyama we'll be looking at. Now, within 30 to 45 minutes, we'll be out of here. So please, let's share. Let's share so that other people can also enjoy this, especially if you know someone who is starting. If you know someone who is starting, now say will be our starting, but still now he's making some of these mistakes. Please try and share this particular link to him or her. So na be be joining na and I would want you will join me in the studio. Meka join me in the studio. Ebi our experience be and I will be our person share. You can join. Me the link no. Me the link ni to comment section honum. With the link ni to comment section ho. So na be ya obi a say or joining na obe share experience and I say obe share testimony ebia Poultry farms crab one bibi one ebia asem bia throughout trainings aya yin na asem bia e kan ya na ade bia ye share one. If you have any kind of testimonial, I'm putting the link right now on YouTube and Facebook. So share from YouTuber. The link is there on the comments. Share from Facebook, so the link is there at the comment side. And so, getting to the end of today's program, I would want anybody when you encounter with in Poultry farms, especially our training, can also join in at the studio, and we can share your experience, or you can say more on whatever we are discussing today. Okay, so let's start. I think now we have about 20 people online, so we can start. But if you've come, kindly share it for other people to also watch. Kindly share for other people to also watch. So today we are looking at 10 top mistakes. 10 top mistakes new poultry farmers make. Avoid these costly errors and save your flock. In another way, I can also put it, avoid these costly errors and save your investment. Poultry farming, as we all know, is capital intensive. In fact, sika here to start a poultry farm, and that form, even though the return on investment is quite encouraging, you will still need an amount of money to start poultry, especially if you are doing layers. When you are doing layers, you know that, by, let's say, 16 to 17 weeks, your birds will start laying. And at that time, you'll be resting in terms of pushing money and putting money in your work. You see? So with that, you would always have to look at your investments. Whatever you are doing, you need to make sure that you are doing the right thing. In as much as this particular venture is, let me say, the venture is quite lucrative if you do your homework well, but you have to avoid such mistakes in order to get the best out of this venture. Nti yɛbɛhwɛ mistakes a ɛyɛ a new farmers make sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛsua ho adeɛ. So without wasting my time, let's look at the first mistake. The first mistake new farmers make. So the first one is improper housing and environment. You see, this is very broad, but let's look at some of the little things that will encapsulate this improper housing and environment. Now, the first thing we will talk about is overcrowding. Now, sometimes when farmers come for consultation, especially new farmers, you see, sometimes they've heard of stories. We've heard stories that, oh, in fact, if you have more birds, when they start to lay, you are going to enjoy. It's true, but you also need to know that more birds come with more space. So in as much as you are buying more birds, you also need to make sure that you have adequate space. The space that you have will be very enough for the birds that you are buying. So you won't buy 500 layers and expect to raise these birds in a small place. Throughout our trainings, we've talked about spacing and how you'll be able to calculate for the right space that these birds will need. So imagine you having 500 birds. When they are at the day old stage, always whatever smaller room you give them, they will be able to occupy it. But when they start to grow, that's where the problem starts. When they start to grow in size, you will need a much bigger space. So you have to look at that thing, overcrowding. So when you come and you talk to us, make sure you are getting the right space. Other than that, it will affect your production, especially when they start to lay or when a disease strike right now. Because of the overcrowding, you will be losing a lot of birds. Another thing is poor ventilation. You see, you have to make sure you construct your pen in such a way that you get full ventilation for these birds. Birds, especially layers, they will be staying with you for a longer time, a longer period. So if you are not working or dealing with your ventilation, it will make the work very difficult for you, because ventilation will help. Proper ventilation will help take away some harmful gases like carbon monoxide, ammonia gas. When these gases become very eminent and very, just say, ɛbɛyɛ bebree wɔ hɔ a, ma menka ne saa, ɛbɛyɛ bebree wɔ dɛm hɔ a, it becomes a disease environment. A disease environment for these bears. Nti obi bɛba bɛfa bears within the shortest possible time. Na ɔse memboa no anya coryza, memboa no anya coccidiosis, memboa no anya sei, memboa. You see, especially when you are doing deep litter, with deep litter system, you should make sure your ventilation is very good, because now when the litter becomes very wet, you need proper ventilation to help dry this litter up. Because when it is wet, it becomes the breeding area for pathogens, for disease-causing organisms that can worry your bears. So make sure you always have proper ventilation. We have a PDF on how to construct your pen. We'll be looking at some of these things in subsequent lessons that we'll be doing. And so if you're a new farmer, please make sure you construct your pen with this thing in mind, with ventilation in mind, in order to have a lower risk of getting these gases in your pen. Let's look at the third one. The third one that I'll talk about in the improper housing and environment is inadequate bedding. When we say bedding, we provide bed, like see how you go in the night, you go to your room and you lie on your bed. Say okoko dawo dem or dawo paso. We also provide bed for these beds, especially deep litter system. Into deep litter system, no, say o the wood shavings and I say o sawdust and now dey egu dem o de egu on. Make sure it is very adequate. Because one, the litter or the bed serve as insulation. Sisi a wo mu no, ebe boa ma aboa no etimi a insulate na ebe ma awo a ewo mu no so ayede etu kakra. So in cold weather, make sure your bedding or your litter material is around 9 inches, 6 to 9 inches deep, in order to provide a quality or adequate bed for these bears. Apart from insulation, it also helps in absorbing any moisture, because when they poop, there's moisture or the poop is wet, right? So it also helps in absorbing moisture. If they accidentally crash a drinker full of water and it spills on the floor, it is this litter or bed that absorbs this kind of moisture. So if the litter is not very adequate, it will pose some dangers, in which will now serve as breeding place for pathogens. Okay, so have all these things in mind, especially during the preparation and also the construction stage. Mistake number 2: poor biosecurity. Poor biosecurity. Now, biosecurity in general is how you make sure that diseases will be far away from your farm. So, how do you do that? You have to make sure, whilst constructing your pen, you make sure that you fix what we call foot bath. foot bath. So if you've not seen foot bath before, you can just Google foot bath to come. Foot bath. Make sure you construct a foot bath just in front, the doorway, where you used to enter the main pen or the main pen, the doorway. Make sure you construct a foot bath. It's just a small place that you put disinfectants mixed with water, so that anybody that enters the pen will dip his or her foot in the pen, in the foot bath, in order to disinfect his or her foot, because you might not know where this person has gone. You wouldn't know where he has gone. You wouldn't know where he is coming from. So you better prepare yourself for that. So it's a common mistake that I quite remember. A new farmer came to me. He had recorded where he's coming to raise these bears, but unfortunately there was just one thing lacking. That was the foot bath. See, so I told him, and immediately he went and did it. And when he took the bears, for I think for like 6 weeks now, we've not encountered any sort of problem, because the biosecurity is tight. So lack of foot bath is a common mistake, and lack of hand washing. We have to treat these bears as human beings, excuse me to say, because sometimes when you treat them like, oh, that's what no, they are your investment. So anytime you are touching a bed, anytime you are administering something, or you are vaccinating them, or whatever you are doing, please, before you enter, before you go inside, make sure you've washed your hand thoroughly. Wash your hands. Ohoro nsa ansa na wasɔ aboa mu, because unnim deɛ also wode wo nsa ayɛ dɛ asosɔ. You don't know what you've touched. Sometimes we touch a lot of things that bring germs onto our hands. And when you touch these birds, they are very vulnerable, especially sensitive layers. Very vulnerable group of flocks. See, so when you do such a thing, it can transmit disease to them. Yes. So you have to take note. Number two, not isolating new birds. So here, let's say maybe you are bringing in new birds, not day olds. Some people bring in point of lay to their farms, and normally when you are bringing them, you don't bring them and mix them with the old flock. You have to isolate them at least for like 2 weeks. Check them constantly. Don't mix them with the main pen or main farm. Get an isolation place at least about 100 meters away. If you'll be doing something, make sure you have that kind of facility, seriously, and you isolate them, because I've seen some before. A client brought in point of lay. When these birds came, they started bringing sickness onto the farm, and the sickness even got their way to the main place. You see, so if you don't isolate them for some time to check whether they are good, they are okay, maybe the farm that they are coming, sometimes you don't know what is going on there. So make sure you do that. Number three, not having strict routine for visitors. See, this is part of biosecurity. Now, akwesi ahye poultry pharmacy nti obi asori ana oba akwesi ene dey o farm akwesi now your farm is very you've done well, congratulations. So now everybody now can come and give you congratulations and just enter the pen like any way they want. Please, if you are a new farmer, don't be doing that. If even the person is your mother or your father, tell him or her that please, we don't do that. You have to have a straight routine. If the person wants to enter, make sure they wash their hands, make sure they change their clothes, make sure they dip their foot in the foot bath. So it should be a routine. You have to even write it and paste it at the door front, so that even when you are not there, people that are helping you on the farm can also, in fact, go through that routine with people that are coming in. Okay, so you have to have a strict routine, and this is very important. So that's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3: inadequate nutrition and feeding. This will pose serious threats to your investment. Number one, the number one thing I want to talk about under this particular mistake is using the wrong feed. I sold broilers to one client, 100 broilers. Seriously, I didn't know this person was a beginner or a new farmer, because when he came, the way we spoke, I thought this guy knew what he was venturing into. So I gave him the bets, and for about 2 weeks, the guy called me back and said, "Are you sure you gave me these broilers, this white broilers?" I said, "Yes, these are broilers." And he said, "The birds are not growing." And I said, "How? How? Can you send me a video?" And in fact, when I saw the video, that it was, they were just like deals, because with broilers by 2 weeks you should see them like they have some weight. Not knowing, the guy was giving them chick mash instead of broiler starter. So I didn't know. Then something clicked me, and I asked him, "What feed are you giving these bears?" Said, "Oh, well, I then I told him to take a picture for me. And in fact, it was a layer feed, complete layer feed. Then I told him he was using the wrong feed. He should go, and I just snap a picture for him to go and buy that feed, broiler starter. And it took them some weeks for them to catch up, but it was better than using that kind of feed. You see, so when you use a wrong feed, it will go against you. When you use a wrong feed, it will go against you. Number 2, improper storage of your feed. Sometimes you a damp place, where there is moisture. If you put your feed, or you store your feed at that particular place, there will be molds, and the feed will now be toxic, to now become toxic for the birds. So you have to store your feed in conditions that will help the feed to in fact, you avoid all these things for the feed to be very proper, so that when you are feeding the birds with it, it will work for you according to how you want it to work. So store your feed in a proper way. Sometimes you'll be there and your birds will be dying. Sometimes it's how they feed. There are a lot of molds in the feed, mm, that can also become toxic. Okay, so we have to also store our feed properly. Number three, inconsistent feeding schedules. So let's say now your birds are, let's say you are using Sankofa feed. With Sankofa feed, you are supposed to give your birds a layer. You are supposed to give them about from 1 day to about 7 weeks. You are supposed to give them the chick mash. But maybe you went and there's no chick mash, so you bought layer. You bought layer for these small bears. This is becoming inconsistent. So sometimes when you have uh day olds, make sure you have adequate feed there, so that now your feed doesn't become inconsistent and your schedules will be on point, so that you know that okay, I'm supposed to feed them with chick mash for 7 weeks. You do that. You are supposed to feed them from the 8th week to about 22 weeks. You are giving them grower feed, and you are doing that. Not that the time for grower you are still giving them chick mash. No, because see, all these feed, they are formulated for specific age. For a specific age. So at their age, you have to give them the right feed at their age. So you look at all these things and work as a new farmer, so that your birds will get the correct feeding. Okay. Mistake number 4, mismanagement of water. So I always say that, say nsuo a wo nom no memfa ma akokɔ no. The water that you as a human being you won't drink, because that water is dirty. The water is dirty that you, the human being, will not drink. But you want to give it to the bird. You want to give it to that bird that will now be laying eggs for we, the human beings, to eat. So we don't give our birds dirty water. Not any kind of water. Why? Because they are animals. No. Okay. So please make sure you get clean water on your farm. Get clean water on your farm and give to these birds, so that they will now be healthy. Because when you are giving them dirty water, you won't expect someone to be drinking dirty water and stay healthy. No. That's why every time your birds are dying. So please give them clean water, and also check for insufficient water. Sometimes when you are using Napo drinkers, sometimes it doesn't flow. So always you have to check. As a new farmer, you have to be checking your Napo drinkers. Those that are using Napo drinkers, you have to check. Sometimes it doesn't flow well, and sometimes too, the farmer will not be around. The birds are thirsty. There's no water. Please, every time there should be water. There should be water in the pen. Eh? So when you come to Ubuntu Farms, we have this automatic drinking system that very, very affordable and very durable. You can use it for over 10 years. Very good, very good product. When you come, we'll give you some, so that now water supply will be very consistent and constant, because especially when they are laying, they need constant water. Okay, so that's mistake number 4. Mistake number 5, fact, this is very, very important. Failure to plan and budget. There's a saying that when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Recently, I spoke to a new farmer. In fact, he had planned, but sometimes the planning also requires you talking to experienced people, because some of the decisions that will come out of your planning will go a long way in helping you become successful in your farming. So you have to plan and budget well. Don't underestimate costs. Let's say you intend to do 1,000 bears, but you have to think ahead and know that as you are doing this 1,000 bears, you are going to feed these bears, like layers, for instance. You are going to feed these bears for about 17 weeks before they can start to lay, and you now sell the eggs for you to get some income. When it comes to broilers, you know that okay, these broilers will be ready within within 2 months. The broilers are ready. So what is the plan? When they are ready, where are you selling them? Who are you giving these bears to? So these are all the planning that I'm talking about. So you have to plan well, no matter the kind of farming that you are doing. There are people that also do brood and sell. Some brood Sasso, brood Plymouth, and all those dual purpose bears. But maybe you heard it that okay, this can also bring in some income within a short time. But you never plan in terms of marketing. How are you marketing it? Who are you selling these things to? So if you don't plan well, now you get to that bridge you can't cross. For layers, you are feeding them, feeding them. But when you get to that particular time that they need feed, now you are short. You don't have the money. I quite remember around 2022, 2021, 2022. A client, initially he had money, so he thought he could do 10,000 bears. So the 10,000 bears came in. We help him out with the construction, all that. In fact, in the beginning, the money was flowing. So doing construction and all that, in fact, money was there. The pictures of the day old, at that time, the money was there. But along the line, I don't know what happened. Now the money started dwindling, and we were in charge of the farm. We were, let's say, like caretakers of the farm. So now when we need feed, asemaba. And as I'm talking to you right now, that particular farm is no more. The farm is no more. So please, you have to plan well. Maybe you have the money, but anything can happen. Yes, anything can happen. So what I would say is just get used to what you can do. Maybe you can do 10,000, but test your strength with just 1,000. With just 1,000. So lack of a business plan is not the kind of plan that we always envision. No, nye brofo akese brofo tinti, no, and yes, I brofo nibi. But you have to have a plan, marketing. And when your products are ready, be it eggs or meat, which people are you selling to? So with that, all this has to be in your plan. Okay, so let's go to number 6. Ignoring health and disease signs and signals. You know, these birds, when they are sick, they will show signals. When they are healthy, they will show signals. So you, as a new farmer, you have to know the signals that these birds show. So when they are healthy, you know that these birds are healthy. When they are when they are sick, when you enter the pen, when they are sick, you should know. And when you know, don't ignore it. So maybe you entered their door, they are looking some way. We call it lethargy. They are looking some way. All these things, you are seeing it, but you are not taking any action. When you delay in taking action, you will lose best. So as a new farmer, please, anytime you enter, look out for these signals, because when they show these signs or signals to you, then you will make an informed decision. Okay, so should I call my vet, or should I call an experienced farmer to help me out, or should I do this, should I do this, should I? You take action then and then. Okay. So don't delay in taking action, and don't ignore the signals that these birds give. And sometimes you also self-diagnose. It's not good. Always consult a vet. Consult a vet. Consult a vet. Sometimes maybe the vet might be busy, but you can even talk to a fellow farmer who has experience in it, in detecting or diagnosing diseases. So always talk to people that can help you. But if you know it, fair enough. But if you are not sure, talk to a vet. Talk to a vet. And you shouldn't ignore some of these signs. Mistake number 7: poor waste management. You enter into someone's farm, and in fact, the litter, very dirty litter. It's like the litter has been there all the life of the bears. Nothing is happening to the litter. They are not cleaning anything. They are not disposing dead birds. You enter the farm, no, dead birds are meeting you. They are greeting you. No proper disposal. If that happens, then it means you are just sitting on a time bomb. Your farm will now become heaven for diseases. So please, you have to properly manage waste. When I say waste, I mean the dirty litter in the coop. You have to dispose it very well. When birds are dead, you have to, the carcass, you have to dispose it, because sometimes that particular disease that killed the bird, if you allow the bird to be around, the dead bird to be around, it can spread to the healthy ones. So you have to dispose them and clean the coop. Please disinfect the area. Disinfect the area and make sure you are doing proper hygiene and you are taking care of these birds properly. Mistake number 8, selecting the wrong breeds. And this particular mistake is like a cut across. Sometimes even those that have been in the farming for a long time, they also make some of these mistakes. Okay, breeds, we have different breeds. Sometimes when you don't match your purpose with the breed that you want, it becomes a problem. So let's say, what's your purpose? Your purpose is to do commercial egg production. When you are doing commercial egg production, you don't go in for dual purpose breeds like Plymouth, Sasso, Croilers, Noeles. All these are dual purpose, meaning their body size will help with meat, and some will also help you with some few eggs. But maybe you want more eggs. If you want more eggs, go in for commercial layers. In fact, the proper ones. So if you ignore all these things and just go in for any kind of breed that doesn't match your purpose, now you will know that no, you've made a wrong decision and a big mistake. But if your purpose is to just be selling meat, then you have to know the right breed to select. That's why in our trainings for beginners, we do breed selection. See, with breed selection, we show you all the breeds that are available and match them with the purpose. Okay, so we are looking at highline, bovine for commercial laying purposes. We are looking at Sasso, Plymouth, Croilers, Noeles for dual purpose, meaning eggs and meat. And we are looking at broilers, Ross 308 or Cobb 500. That's for purely meat production. Okay, so if you have all these breeds available, then you choose the right breed that will match your vision or your purpose in the farming that you're about to do. Okay, so match them well and don't ignore local conditions, because in fact there are some bears, they are not very good for temperate areas. So let's say if you are in Tamale or Navrongo, some bears are not really hardy like that for that kind of temperate conditions. So you have to know the ones that can, in fact, thrive. Those that can thrive in that condition. Okay, so don't ignore all those things. We have to learn, and you have to learn very well. Okay, so let's go to mistake number 9. Okay, so we are about finishing. We are about finishing. We are about finishing. So as I said, if you want to join in, the link is on the comment section for YouTube and also for Facebook. When you click on the link, it will take you to a studio, and you enter your name and you click on enter studio. Make sure your mic is working. When you click on enter studio, I'll add you to the studio. I'll add you and you come online here so that we can be talking. If you have an experience, if you have a question based on what is being taught this evening, Then we can also discuss about all those things. Okay. Yeah. So number 9. And before I continue, my name is Kwame Abuajeda Costa. I'm with Impuntu Farms. We are located at Taifa Burkina, Taifa Burkina. So you can come to our office. We offer consultation, and based on what you want, we can have a tailored uh, system for you. Mm. So if you want to venture into the poultry business, we are there for you. Okay, it's a one-stop shop. We sell feed, we sell drinkers, and all the accessories, all the equipment you will need. Okay, medication, the day old chicks we also sell. We import the layers as well from Holland, and also the locally hatched ones too. We have them. Okay, so whichever way, it's a one-stop shop for all your poultry needs. So contact us. Okay, our number is on the screen. There's you check down there. You can also surf on our website www.impultufarms.com, and you have more information on us. Okay, so uh Hilda Farms. Hilda Farms. I'll add you very soon. Okay, I'll add you very soon. So let's look at the 9 and 10, and we'll start with our conversations. Okay, so lack of record keeping. Mm. We have a full lesson on record keeping, farm records, but you shouldn't ignore the data. In fact, you have to have records on your egg production. You have to have records on mortality. You have to have records on even feed consumption, expenses, all your expenses. Anything you are buying, anything. In fact, even PIN, you have to have that. All these records should be, because that will help you to ascertain whether you are making profit or you are making loss, because this is business, not just farming. The farming is one side and business is also one side. So it's poultry farming business. You have to know that even if you love animals, you love farming, or the outdoor farming, but still this is business, because all other things you are buying feed, you are buying medications, you are buying vaccines, you are buying drinkers, and all these things. Please, you have to have data. Okay, so that's a mistake that new farmers don't really consider. So if you are starting, consider that you have to have a book or a software, Excel, something to be recording all the things that is going on your farm. If you are not there, make sure the person that is there is recording everything, so that you can be having an oversight of that. Okay. Number 10, the last mistake: starting too big and too soon. You get 10,000 birds. Wow. But sometimes you are stretching yourself too much. Okay, if you are starting, you have to at least start small. So me, I always say that if you can afford to raise 10,000 bears, start with 1,000. If you can afford to raise 1,000 bears, start with 500. And check your strength, test yourself, because farming, especially poultry farming, it's not a joke. Ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛnhunim na obiara wo, but ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛnim biribiara, right? It's just based on experiences. Okay, so starting too big and too soon sometimes you are overextending your resources. Okay, make sure you start, but at least start with what you can do. If it is 10,000 and you believe in yourself that you can do it, fine. But if it is now that you are testing your strength, test your strength with something that you can really have your hand grab on, and you not be borrowing money from anybody. Okay. So these are the 10 mistakes that new farmers make. Okay. So now the interaction section. So if you are online, eh, whether you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can join in. Okay, so let me add Hilda Farms. Hilda Farms. Hello, Hilda Farms.
Yes. Good evening to you.
Evening, sir.
Thank you very much for this insightful session. I
Okay.
must say it's an eye opener. Um, one quick question. I want to find out from you. Is there any training workshop in person that you have at your outfits, please?
Yes, yes, yes. But mostly it will be one on one. Okay. So if you want to come in for in-person training, you can come. We are located at Taifa Burkina. Uh,
No,
we can do that. Okay. We
no,
can do
that
that.
is fine.
Yeah.
Now to something else about record keeping and record management. Do you have any digital system that helps new farmers? I'm not to say that the paper base is not advisable, but you and I can attest to the fact that sometimes we need to be able to track and understand the data we are collecting from our farms wherever we find ourselves. Is there any digital resource that farmers can use in collecting and keeping data?
Okay. So uh normally when it comes to expense, you can use this app, expense bookkeeping. Expense
Okay.
bookkeeping. Yes. But when it comes to the proper data, like let's say your egg production, your mortality, all those things, I would
Mm,
say maybe Excel sheet, right? You can use
okay.
Excel sheet because for now there's no app. I've not encountered anything like that, like an app or a software that is doing that. If anybody has that, please you can share. But for us, we use the Excel. We,
Okay. No.
we have a
Uh,
template that we print out and we fill.
mm,
Then later we enter them on the Excel.
okay.
Yes, but
Mm,
I think if
all
anybody watching, if you are a software guy or anybody who can design an app like that to help farmers, I think it is going to be a good idea.
okay. Thank you so much. So,
Okay.
finally, before I take leave of you, is there a community of poultry farmers where the big guns like you give mentorships, pieces of advice to the up and coming ones like us? Is there any
Oh,
community,
oh
maybe
yeah,
something like
yeah,
we
yeah.
can
We
readily
we
reach?
we yeah, we have a platform. You can WhatsApp me, and you can WhatsApp
Okay,
me. We have about three or so platforms. Okay, and
okay,
we've been doing this every Sunday. Okay, with
mm,
our vet doctor, Dr. Chemi. And today he is indisposed, so I had to come in and also help. But we do it constantly every Sunday, and on WhatsApp
mm,
too. We normally have some interactions over there. So you
oh,
can WhatsApp me. I'll add you to the groups. And
all right.
this month this month ending, we'll be having beginner training. That one solely for beginners. But normally, the ones that we normally do on Sundays are a kind of like master class. So
Okay.
yeah, but we'll be doing the beginner training ankasa ankasa ankasa. So you
Which
can
which date would that be, please?
oh 25th. We'll start
25th at Taifa,
yeah,
I believe.
no normally it's online.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
yeah, but if you want the in-person one, that one
It has to be
you
one.
have to but the 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 beginner training for like the general one will be on the
Mm,
25th and end on 29th.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ubuntu Farms. I think even though the viewership is a bit low now, I strongly believe with continuity and consistency, the platform will grow. Thank you for impacting us. Have a
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
evening, sir.
Welcome, sir. Okay. So if you want to come on, you can just click on the link and come on. We have just about some few minutes to end this live. Okay, someone is asking a question. Says, how long does it take to brooding your birds? Okay, so normally brooding takes about 4 to 5 weeks. Mm, yeah, it takes about 4 to 5 weeks. So we have to also take into consideration. Uh, I've seen on Facebook, it's like some discussion has been going on. Say what? Say why is it that bamboo fruit are always in the white base? And please solution to treat it. Okay, so solution normally you have to cut it open and use saline water or salt solution. Okay, to clean the surface, and you give the bed pen strip. If you give the bed pen strip, it will help. It will help in that. Okay. So I'm just going through the comments to see. Okay, someone also said, "Good evening. Please, I've been following you people, but this live chat is it going to be in Chi? I don't understand." Oh, okay, madam. Okay, madam will say. And normally we try our possible best to mix the languages. So we mix Chi with English. Because as for the English, I don't really speak English like that. So I try my best. I try my best to speak some English. And as for the tree, there, I'm always speaking tree. So, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Oliver, I think Mr. Oliver is also very concerned about us speaking tree. Yes, so sometimes we also try to speak the English. Okay, so we always try to speak English. So if no one is joining, then I think uh, we can say goodbye. But before that, someone says, "What about the use of maggot as a feeding supplement to their feeding, so as to reduce feed costs?" You want to reduce feed costs? Ah, hey, Chairman, Chairman Christian, Mr. Frightful. You can use it. You can even harvest your own maggot. Okay, but Reducing feed costs, especially layers, especially layers. I don't think it will do something. But if you are giving maggots to them to boost up their their protein, then you are doing a good job. Okay, but giving them only maggots for the whole day or half a day to reduce the cost because you don't want to feed them with the maybe with the layer feed or let's say your prepared feed. No, I don't think it will be a good practice. As you said, supplement. So if you are supplementing something, you are not changing it outright. Okay. So as you are not changing it, then it means you still have to give them the feed. Okay. You still have to give them the feed. So if you want to supplement their protein level, then that's good. You can use the maggot. Okay. So Mr. Oliver says today class went very well. Let's tree. Okay. So we will try to less the tree. Okay. Another person is also saying, please, in respect of vaccination, what will be the negative effect to give the third Newcastle orally through water? But Mr. Abdullah, first of all, why do you want to give third Newcastle orally? No vet will even tell you that because see, we have routes for everything. Like for human beings like this, when you go to the hospital and you need an injection, they will give you an injection. When you need drip, they will give you a drip. If there's no need for drip, they won't give you any drip. Okay, so you have to know the routes. And with all these vaccines, they have their own let me say their routes, to which they can be transferred into the body of the animal. So when you compare the third Newcastle to other vaccines, you will know that the third Newcastle, you will notice that it looks like milk, very milky. Okay, so I don't think it will be the best. I'm not a doctor. Maybe next week when doctor comes, he will give you a proper answer. But from layman's perspective, no, I don't think it will be best to do that because it's not something oral. Okay, that's why we have to inject them. Okay, so please, that's it. Okay, so I think we have exhausted all the things. Roxin, thanks. Bosu, thank you. Thanks for joining. So I would thank all of us for joining. And when you share, at least other people can also watch. And after the live, it's still there. So you can still go and check up and watch. Okay. So thank you. And we'll end the live. And I say bye bye. Midobiasi. Yo, bye bye.